Hello friend, welcome to my channel Technical Hakim. It's me Upendra, and today we will learn the basics of Huawei OLT configuration. So we will be configuring the how to create VLAN and tagging VLANs to the uplink port, assigning IP to VLAN interface for management purpose, defining the gateways, configuring DBA profiles, service profile, line profiles, and we will also know how to add ONT, and we will also know how to enable auto find on the board ports. We'll also know how to delete ONT, how to create users, how to enable SSH, and how to enable autosave command. So without any delay, let's begin our video. So I have connected console cable from my OLT to my laptop, and you can see the console is detected at COM7. So we'll try to access our OLT via PuTTY. So here you can see we are able to access our OLT. So by default, the default username and password of Huawei OLT is root, and the password is admin123, or sometime root and the password is admin@123. So I have already modified my username and password of the OLT. So let's try to log into the OLT. So well friend, we are logged into our OLT. Before configuration, we will confirm our board status. So here you can see at 0/1 there is one GPFD card, and the card is in normal states. Let's say if we find the card is auto find, then we need to confirm that board, or we need to add that board for further configuration, to make the board able to find those ONT. We need to enable the auto find on that particular board. To confirm that, either we can run board confirm 0/1 command, or you can say board add and name of the board. So here we have already added the board, and the status of board is in normal states. And here we can see at 3 and 4 we have MCUD1 active board at active state, and one is power slot board. We can see the status from 0/3. Here you can see we can connect our uplink ports to these uplink links to these ports. Here we can see the power connectivity, power status, and the cows of the board at 0/4. So moving onwards, now we will begin a stepwise step to learn the basics of Huawei OLT. So first of all, we will create the VLANs. So in Huawei OLT, there is a little bit different than Cisco, Juniper, or let's say another vendor devices. However, we use with the switching and routing, somehow there is different in the command is different in this Huawei GPON OLT. To create VLAN, we need to, if you don't need the further or onwards command, always try to issue the helper command or question mark. You can see. So VLAN ID. So let's say we will create VLAN 26, and the type VLAN type we will create array smart. So VLAN 26 is created. Let's confirm. Here you can see 26 VLAN is created. Now let's pass the VLAN or tag the VLAN to the uplink ports. So as I mentioned earlier, we will be connecting our uplink links to these ports. So I will now assign, since I have not connected any uplinks port now, we can connect it later. So I will assign VLAN to one of these ports. For that we will issue port VLAN, and our VLAN is 26, and on which port we need to, let's say on 0/3/0 0/3 on 0 port. Well, let's say we will connect one, or we can tag VLAN to whatever ports available on this board as per our need. We can also configure, or we can also tag VLANs to the link aggregation LACP ports. So here I will pass the VLAN to 0/3 port. So we will create now another VLAN. VLAN 26 will be our service VLAN, and VLAN 27 will be, I am creating for management purpose. VLAN 27 will be the management VLAN. I will also pass or tag the management VLAN to the uplink board. So here you can see, we can confirm by this. You can see VLAN 26 and 27 are tagged to port 0/3/0. Now we are done with the VLAN. Now we'll assign IP to the VLAN interface. Since 27 will be our management VLAN, I will assign IP to VLAN interface 27. So I have assigned the management IP to the VLAN interface. Now we will define the gateway. So as I mentioned earlier too, if you don't know the command, always issue the helper command or question mark. To, if you are not sure what to do next, you can always assign, or you can always issue the question mark or helper command, you can say. So the destination output 00 will be our default IP, will be destination IP, and destination subnet marks. And the gateway address. So well, we are done with assigning the gateways to. Now on further, now we will move to configuring the DBA profiles, service profile and line profiles. So we can confirm the configuration from here. What configuration are already configured. You can see there is nothing configured regarding DVA. These are the default ones. Here we have configured IP on VLAN interface. We have created VLAN interface 27. This is the default, or let's say if you need to access the OLT via math, you can access it also from the math IP. You can see the two VLANs we have created and tagged to the 0/3/0 port. So let's begin configuring the DBA profiles. You can keep your profile name as per your need. Now you can define the type for the bandwidth. So I will issue the type for my maximum bandwidth allocation in DBA profile. So you can see the maximum available bandwidth on this profile is this. So I'll be assigning. You can assign also as for your need, whatever you need to assign in between this. So we have created the DBA profile with profile ID 26 and profile name Technicalhakim Internet. So now we'll be configuring the service profile. For that, we'll issue the command profile ID is 26 and profile name is. So this is normally for ONT. So this is the number of ETH ports which will be adaptive. So you can assign the numbers. So I will assign a rate. So make sure you commit the configuration. Well, we are done with the DBA profile and service profile. Now we'll configure the line profile. For that we'll issue the command profile ID is 26. we can issue the TCONT ID. So here we will define the TCONT and map to DBA profile. Now we will add gem and map to TCONT. For that, gem add TCONT 4. So we have defined TCONT and map to DBA profile, and onwards we have added gem and map to TCONT. Now we will map VLANs to gem map. So for that we will issue gem mapping. Our VLAN is service VLAN is 26. So if you have multiple VLANs, you can issue the same command. Instead of 0, you can list 0, 1, 2 to 7. Let's say we will issue, you can add see 0 to 7 mapping index. So we are now done with DBA profile, service profile and line profile. Now make sure you commit the configuration. So we are now done with VLAN creation, tagging the VLANs to the uplink port, creating VLAN interface, defining gateways, configuring DBA profile, service profile and line profile. You can also confirm the configuration. Here you can see. So let's begin to adding ONT. Now we'll move forward to how to add ONT. So before that, we'll issue the display ONT auto find all command. So here you can see meanwhile there is no any ONTs found on the OLT. So as I mentioned earlier, we must enable auto find on the board ports so that the OLT board will discover or auto find the OLT. For that, we'll issue display board 0 command again. We can see the GPON card at 0/1. Now we will issue or we will enable auto find on the board ports. We can issue the port. Since the card is GPFD, there is 0 to 15 ports, so we need to enable auto find on each ports. Likewise in GPBD there are 0 to 7, that's altogether 8 in GPBD ports, and in GPFD 16 ports. So we make sure we enable the auto find on each port so that the OLT will discover the ONU whenever we connect ONU or ONT to respective ports. I have connected one ONT to the port number 15. So our OLT should now be able to discover that ONT. So let's confirm that once, since I have already enabled auto find on 0/115 port. So let's verify one. Oh, okay, cool. So here you can see once we enable the auto find on the board is able to find the ONT connected to that port. So since our ONT is found, we will now begin to add ONT. So we'll now add that ONT, add this respective ONT. For that we need to move to that particular port to add the ONT. ONT add. You can see I have already been to 0/FSP and the ONT is phone port 0. So we'll add ONT add at 0 phone port. Sorry, I have already mentioned our ONT is on this 0 port. Since I have connected to the last, I thought it might be on 15, but it was on 0 port. Yes, from last it was 0 to 15. So already I have enabled auto find on 0, so we are able to find our ONU, and now we are going to add our ONT. So we'll issue the command. So we have already entered on the interface, or let's say frame slot 0/1, and we'll add our ONT to phone port ONT at 0, and our SN authentication, we'll mention the SN ID or SN number. If you don't know the onwards command, always try to issue question mark so you can ensure what is the next command you are going to issue. So our line profile ID is 26, server profile ID is 26, and we will issue the description for the ONU. So you can see our ONU is added at 0/1/0 with ONT ID 0. The ONT ID is always unique for every ONT we use at respective port. Let's suppose I add one of the another ONT to the same port, same FSP. The OLT will provide either the 1, 2, 3, or let's say 30, 32, 64, max to 128, depending upon the splitting ratio. Now we'll also issue the port native VLAN command. So we are done with adding the now we will add the service port. Our VLAN service VLAN is 26. Our ONT is available on the 0/1/0 and ONT ID 0. So we will mention the command ONT 0 and the GEM port is 26. We have configured earlier. And our user VLAN is 26. And we will see the type transform, translate or transparent as per our need. We can either issue the tag transform translate for access or transparent for trunk access and trunk, whatever we need. We as per our need we can issue the command. So we are done with add ONT. Let's say now once you have added ONT and now you want to delete ONT, we cannot delete ONT. Let's say for that we need to go to the particular frame slot and PON port. We cannot delete directly ONT without deleting the service port. Let's say I will try here. Here you can see the configure object has some service port. We have virtual ports. So if we need or if we want to delete the ONT, we make sure we need to first delete the service port and then only we can delete the ONT. For that we will do deleting the service port. So we have deleted the service port. Now we should be able to delete the ONT. Let's confirm once. We haven't yet deleted the ONT. Here you can see there is no any when found on the auto find. Now we will delete the ONT. So you can see the ONT is deleted. Now let's check ONT should be available in the auto find. There you can see. So well friend, we are done with basics of Huawei OLT configuration. We have configured the VLANs, tagged the VLANs to uplink port, assigned the IP to VLAN interface, assigned the gateway, configured the DBA profile, service profile, line profile, and onwards we have also enabled the auto find on the board ports. And after enabling the auto find on board ports, we have also added ONE, how to add ONT, we have known, and we have also learned how to delete the ONT. So one thing also we will know how to create user. So for that we'll issue the command terminal user and mention the username, whatever you want to create the user for. Let's say insert the password. You can mention the character, anything you want to. Since I am already not logged in from the super user, I am logged in from the admin user, not the super user. So I have not been able to provide the privilege of administrator, although I can issue the operator login. From operator login you can have the operator level privileges. You can configure the device, let's say ONU, ONTs. You can see the optics details, and from the operator point of view you can manage your OLT or your device. So I will issue this user operator level privilege, and make sure how many re-entries in case of password wrong entry, how many re-entries you want to allow the user. Let's say I will issue 5. Any, would you want to repeat this? So no. So we can, here you can see I'm logged in from the admin user, and I have just created the user's operator. So we are done with the user creation. Now we will do, or we will enable the SSH. For that we will issue the command SSH user. We will issue the SSH for root and the user also for here now, or you can say SSH user. Let's say I will issue here for this particular user. So we have set the authentication type. Now we should be able to log in from SSH from this user. Okay, so we are done with user creation and SSH enable. Now we'll issue our autosave command to make sure the OLT will save the configuration automatically after certain interval of time. We can also modify the time as per our need. So for that we need to assign autosave command. So I have enabled the autosave interval mode. Here you can see the by default the autosave interval time is 1440 minutes. So we'll modify this time. Also we'll, what during autosave, what things we need to save, will issue the type of configuration or anything. So we'll issue autosave type, either we want to save configuration or data or all. So here I need to save all this, whether it's data, whether it's configuration, all the things in the OLT. So I issue autosave type all, and I will also modify the autosave interval time. Since 1450 is little bit longer time, I want to modify that time so that OLT saves that configuration and data all things at particular time which is set, or you can set 60 minutes every hour, 1 hour. So now we'll issue the save command. So well friend, we are now done with the basics of Huawei OLT configuration, and From these basics, now our OLT is ready to make it live and deploy on the site. Further, we can also add different services, and we can also implement various configuration as per our need. LSC, we can also configure LSCP, we can tag VLAN to the LSCP, several other NTP, SNMPs and related. There are many configuration and many services you can do. So onwards, whatever configuration you need to, or as per your need, as per your requirement, you can configure. But with this, we are done with our basics of Huawei OLT configure. With this, you can operate normally. We can operate your OLT and deploy to this site. So, friend, today we have learned how to create VLAN in Huawei OLT, how to tag VLAN to uplink ports, how to assign IP to VLAN interface, defining gateways, how to create DVA profile. We have learned how to create line profile, service profile, and also we have learned how to enable auto find on the service board, GPON board ports in a auto find. We have also learned how to enable auto find on the board ports. And onwards, we have also learned how to add ONT, how to delete ONT, how to create users, how to enable SSH, how to issue autosave command. So thank you friend for watching my video. At the meantime, if you have any confusion, if you have any queries related to my content, you can drop down the query in the comment section. So happy learning, keep watching and keep exploring. Thanks for visiting my channel Technical Hakim. Have a good day.